Hello, I'm the host of Urban Beats Radio 2. Just wanted to give a quick recap on the Polygamous Society show. Just wanted to give a recap because the show was very intriguing, very intense, and everyone, of course, wanted to make sure that their questions were answered to everything that we were discussing. So I just wanted to give a quick recap on it because on this platform, my platform, I want to definitely make sure that it's a platform where we can all be authentic, we can be real, we can be ourselves, and we can really have like real life discussions as they pertain to people's lives. And so I just want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard whenever they come on my platform to do a show. So I hope you enjoy it. Definitely chime in the comments and let us know what you think. Thank you so much for your support.
One of the questions I thought you answered that was really good was, what is it about each woman that makes them irreplaceable, or are they not? Can they be replaced? Like, what makes them significant? How do they really add to you reaching your highest purpose, your greatest? How do they create them? How do you create meaning in your life? How do they help that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a great question. I attack relationships, in my opinion, the way anyone who is focused about their future or their legacy would, from posture, spirit, purpose, those are the first three key ingredients when I'm being introduced to a woman's spirit. What makes her irreplaceable is that I'm not really doing this to be juggling people around in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for those staples and be done with it, and continue growing and building as a family, or as a unit, So, it's, though beauty may call us, beauty can't keep us. Not for myself, just because of my purpose and my alignment in what I'm doing, not just in business, but in community. So if she adds in some type of format from a business perspective, that's a beautiful thing. If she adds from a community perspective in reference to the fact that she's out, making sure people are greater, as great as they can be, then that adds to the kingdom. If it's a childbearing situation, then she's providing for the children. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. So specifically about those individuals, they're meeting the criteria in those ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a criteria. I'm very, very picky. I'm looking at how you eat, you know what I'm saying, how you think, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a relationship where we're always combating one another. You know what I'm saying? I don't desire that at all. I don't compete with my woman. There is no necessity for that. So certain attitude structures don't really fit well with me. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. I don't know if I answered those questions or not.
What kind of structures or what type of attitude do you feel like? Well, let me see. This is a question that I was thinking about while I was hiking. What is it about her that I was thinking about it and it just slipped my mind? Let's see. It left. It'll come back. But yeah, the criteria. So, well, I was going to ask, what is it? What are the things that the structures that don't work for you? What are the attitudes that don't? I know you said competitiveness. What was it like to be with somebody like that? How did you deal with them?
I don't really like the I'm a bad bitch attitude. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yep.
I love confidence. I think that you can be confident. But and I think that you could be the baddest in the room, but I don't think the attitude to be the baddest in the room is really conducive to, growth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I walk in like I know I'm the baddest nigga in this room,
Mhm.
then why am I here?
Exactly.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, why am
Yeah.
I here? Did
Right.
I came unless I was paid to come and just be the baddest nigga in the room? You know what I mean? But if this is a meeting of the minds, if this is a social engagement, if this is something, you know what I mean, of the sorts, then
Mm-hmm.
I should be coming to receive
Absolutely.
as well as giving something to the room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that kind of attitude it brings a lot of trouble in relationships, in my opinion. You know,
Mhm.
It does.
um, a know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
I love brilliant women, but nobody wants to be with a know-it-all,
No.
and that's something that I myself um, I'm very conscious of. You know what I mean? I'm a know-it-all, and so I try to really balance myself out when it comes to conversation and when it comes to certain things because no one wants to be with an I told you so type person. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
Right.
mean? However, I do believe in the respect of supreme intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And so if we're talking about something and you display supreme intelligence, I'm not going to dumb it down just so you could feel like I'm smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, babe, that was brilliant. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, just recently. You know what I'm saying? My queen, I did a funeral booklet for a nephew of hers that was killed recently,
Mm-hmm.
and the family just lost their minds about it. They thought it was the best thing they've ever seen, and they go to a lot of funerals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the queen was like, "Yo, you might want to think about this as a business, like really think about this." And I said, okay, you might be onto something. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And so since then, I've created a pretty nice blueprint for this business model. Um, and I tell her all the time, I really appreciate that, so um, those are the type of things that's irreplaceable. Intelligence is irreplaceable. Creating culture, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll wake up in the morning and listen to the Coming to America theme song,
Mhm.
theme music when the king is coming over the bridge, you know what I'm saying? Or, we're doing something to create culture. So when we're not in each other's presence, that presence is always felt.
Right.
Okay. So I remembered the question that I was going to ask. In what ways do you guys challenge each other in a positive way to create growth?
Anything that I don't want to say it like that. Everything, you know. One of the examples was the one I just gave with the memorial business. That was a challenge, you know, and it's one that is shortly showing fruit, and a lot of fruit, at that. Um, I am a little more ascended. Um, and so um, I'm always using real life situations to offer a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, we gonna elevate. We might not do a lot of things, but elevation is definitely gonna be
Yeah.
one of those things.
Right.
Um, we might recommend a particular book to each other. You know what I'm saying? Um, we might get particular books for each other. You know, um, it's a lot. You know,
Mm.
I have over 400 videos on Facebook and YouTube combined.
Wow. That's more than me.
You know, and so I may send a video, I may suggest a video, I may, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So when was a time like I know that sometimes we really value compliance and peace, and that's um, a really huge component of a relationship. However, conflict is also important because, you know, without conflict, we really can't become one unit and an actual covenant. Because when you think about you or you, and each one of them are separate. So we're all different ingredients. If you have butter, you have milk, you have flour, you have sugar, all of those things have to come into conflict with each other in order to create a cake. So, what are some times in which you did experience conflict and you learned something about yourself in that time? What was that like? How did you guys deal with it?
Well, I think the biggest conflict was when she asked me to be monogamous.
Mm.
You know what
Which
I'm
one
saying?
actually?
My queen now.
Oh, okay.
And that was a moment that I feel was a test between myself and my higher being. You know what I mean? Um, I was really upset,
Mm.
and I moved out.
Wow.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, in peace and in love, because to your analogy of a cake, the milk can't become butter. You know what I mean? And the butter isn't sugar, right? So
Right.
um, if this isn't for you anymore, I understand. I'm not going to force my hand. I'm not going to talk you into anything, right?
Right. Hmm.
Um, however, 60 days later, we back together. You know what I mean? So um, I think that a lot of times in conflict, a lot of times we want people to understand our point so much. We want them to um, submit to our perspective, right?
Yep.
So much that there's no edification in argument. There's no edification in it. There's no purpose in it. All it is just loud banter back and forth if nothing is edified, right?
Yes.
So when I'm arguing, I don't argue for right or wrong.
Hmm.
You understand?
Hmm.
I argue for perspective. I argue for understanding. And in my opinion, that's the only purpose for an argument.
Right.
Because once I've gained that perspective, I may not be right, but now I have an understanding. So now the way I feel about something, you know, um, I'll give you another one. She's about to open a store,
Mhm.
and you know, in the beginning, it was going to be something. It was going to be a store for both of us, and her entire platform is um, helping women. You know what I mean? Or her entire platform is women. It's the House of She, or She Speaks. You know what I'm saying? Everything she. And so, it dawned on me because I was having some hard time dealing with this store and the transition of it. And I like to go in and figure out why I'm feeling a certain way. And I said to her, I think I got it. I think I now know why I'm having a hard time with this. She said, why? I said, well, because it's inclusive
Mm.
and I'm not invited. You understand? I said, but now that I have the understanding of why I was feeling this particular way, now I can be responsible with that emotion and do something else with it. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as people, sometimes we don't understand what may be bothering us at the time. And if we're so hell bent on arguing about everything, then we can never get to the root of it.
Absolutely.
We have to look at a lot of times what we don't understand is that we're all mirrors. So something is existing outside of us, but also inside of us, and that's why we can recognize it. And so when we don't go inside to see what is it about this, I'm arguing with this person about this thing. What is it actually about this thing that's bothering me?
Mm-hmm.
What part of this thing is existing in me that's showing me something about myself that needs to be healed or addressed that I can only see in this person? So when we're able to go inside and look at ourselves, then we can make that change. And like you said, do something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
But until we do that, all we do is blame others, because blame is going to take away our responsibility. Blame is the need to escape pain, and we don't have to deal with it because it's not my fault. It's their fault. So that's why ultimately when I'm thinking about, being in that type of relationship, it has to be a covenant. You have to be very mature. And so what happens is if one person is being in this type of relationship because they are having a mindset of, oh, there's not enough, having a deficit mindset, like there's not enough resources out there. There's not enough men out there that can give me what I want. So this is what I have to do. But then you get to a point where if it's a covenant and this is my sister over here and he's the king and, he's very enlightened and he's leading and protecting and providing us with not with just material things, but with knowledge, I can go and when I'm frazzled and just I'm filled with emotion. He has his logic that he can. Men are like Supermen. They have superpowers. That logic comes in and kind of calms us down because we're all over the place.
Yeah,
that's a superpower. So if I know I need that, and this is my sister, it's almost like, well, why would? And I'm in this type of lifestyle. I know she needed it as much as me, and I have to love her as much as I love him, because that's the only way that jealousy doesn't creep in my opinion.
Now, the jealousy is going to be there from all sides, even from my side. You know what I'm saying? Earlier in the year, the Queen and I had a girlfriend, and I think they went off to do something one day, and I felt jealous. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? Y'all already did that without me. But it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I'm gonna burn the house down.
Healthy. A level is healthy to the point where it's like, well, I don't want to share anything with. It's like, if you get a little jealous, it's because you care. You're like, well, I want to be part of it. I want to be. What happened? I mean, that's normal, but not to the point where like, no, you got to give it to all of them. They got to go. That's when it becomes a little bit dangerous, because it's like, how can I end all of them and just like have them to myself? Not saying that's whatever happened.
But, and the thing about that is this, and this is the knowledge that I came to just recently. It's funny because when she asked me to be monogamous, it really it rocked my world, right? And it dawned on me, I can be non-committal and have everything I want. It's crazy. It's crazy that cheating on your wife is not illegal, but being a polygamist is. You understand?
I think it is. I mean, adultery is illegal in Georgia.
In certain states.
You understand?
But I get
cheating
what you're saying.
you ain't going no jail.
Yeah,
Right.
Ain't
right.
nobody going to jail for cheating on their wife. But they'll lock someone up over polygamy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, which is why, I initiated the divorce from my wife,
Yeah.
right? Because she was being a bully, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying, using her status over women that I was courting. And
Right.
no grown woman wants to, and that's one of the things that I come to dispel. A lot of people be like, well, shouldn't the wife be helping you pick the next wife? That's some bullshit. You understand? And I really want these women to hear what I'm saying. The only reason they feel that way is to control the narrative. Nobody was there to help me pick you first. You understand? So no,
Exactly.
by
Yeah.
the law of divine right and mindset and spirit, no, you
Mm.
don't get to pick. Now you get to say whatever you want. I'm not a silencer. I will listen, you know what I'm saying? But I also have eyes and ears. So for instance, the young lady that me and the queen was dating earlier in the year, I told the queen, I was like, yo, I feel like a jump off. Like I'm not feeling the connection, and I'm asking to meet the kids. I'm asking to see where she live. I can't formulate the proper science behind dating if I'm not able to add certain things up. You understand?
Hmm.
And so we had that talk, and I told her, I was like, yo, I don't like the way this feeling. And maybe a week or two later, it was over.
Wow.
You
Mm.
know, um, and that goes to say, like, I'm not in it for just the sex. I mean, that's you can do that with anybody, with doing however you get down. But for me, I'm the magic man. I'm not trying to have everybody running off with my secret sauce.
Right.
So, so it's okay for you guys can have a partner together with so you can have a girlfriend with the queen.
If they decide that's what I'm saying now, um, they weren't, they didn't necessarily get down all the way like that. You know what I mean? But they had enough love for each other to carry that title. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't try to control the relationships between the queens. However they decide to love each other is how they decide to love each other. You know what I mean? Um, we all one. So if that's what they want to do, that's what they do. I don't
Mhm.
push it. I don't badger. I don't do any of that. You know what I mean? It's not necessary.
So if
Right.
you have a girlfriend with the queen and they are intimate very frequently without you, how does that feel like kind of do you feel any jealousy creeping in with that or is it just like it's fine?
No, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, you'll know the energy of someone trying to be, manipulative or, you know what I'm saying, trying to replace or take over or whatever the case may be. I don't really deal well with any of that energy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I would say too, because I know like by the time she came back, she missed the first part of when you were saying how did you first get into polygamy? Like, what initiated it for you? Could you give her a little bit of that? Because I think that pretty much like set the stage of like, why he is who he is and, his
Well,
reasons for everything.
yeah, first thing is that, I'm the first male born in 20 years on both sides of my family.
Hmm.
So all I've been around. My mother owned two salons growing up. She's a cosmetologist. She's hence retired, but you know, I was in the salon Friday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying? After school or whatever the case may be. Um, so I have a certain comfort level when it comes to being around women. I love to be around women. You know what I mean? And I don't have to necessarily be in a sexual aspect, but I love to be around beautiful women.
Hmm.
Um, then two, when I was in the seventh grade, I came back from summer vacation, and my girlfriend was like, "Yo, we got a problem. I'm like, what kind of problem we got? She's like, well, me and my bestie, over the summer we've been kind of fighting over you or whatever. Wanted to know if we could both be your girlfriend. And I was like, oh, all right. you know. Um, there's a certain level of respect that comes with it. And I've learned that since then, since that day. Back then that wasn't sex, I wasn't having sex in the seventh grade. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't about the sex. Um, but it definitely brings forth a different type of attention, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, for going back from the top of, as to why you are who you are. And like I said yesterday, I totally respect everybody's opinion. I like to hear both sides. I like to hear why people feel the way they do, no matter how, different it may be from me, her, you, whatever. So like I said, I enjoy the conversation. I'm always open to hear. I'm open to hear whatever you have to say. I'm open to hear whatever Rhonda has to say. So everybody is heard here on this platform. There is no right or wrong answers because everybody's
Right.
different.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering, like, how do you feel about Black women, and how do you feel that this actual lifestyle can help protect us more? Or if you think it could protect us more?
Well, one, I am an advocate for polygyny. I don't think that it's for everybody. So, to that point, whatever doesn't fit your lifestyle doesn't fit your lifestyle. But here's the thing that I would say to people: if we're already doing it, right? Like, so many men are out here cheating, right? They're
Mhm.
already out here choosing their second and their third. And in
Absolutely.
my and in my opinion, because you can't talk to her around your first, then she's taken away from the family. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not talking about being excused and your wife know, hey, I'm talking to Michelle. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back in a minute, whatever. I mean, like lying and hiding it, right?
Yep.
That that only takes away from the family. His resources are already going towards keeping her in some regard in this relationship, right? So the resources are going out. So if everybody was to know what was happening, then everyone could work as a unit. You understand? And not one thing is placed upon someone's head more so than the other.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is this: a lot of women, they want to be in committed relationships, but they don't want their man up under them all day. They
Yeah.
just want to know he's committed. They want those resources going towards those bills or her lifestyle or the vacation or some regard or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
So if that could be established and she knows she's got a loving man, somebody who's spiritually feeding her, somebody who is covering her, you know what I'm saying, through life or whatever the case may be. And then she knows that she's got someone she could truly depend on, not like a friend, right? Because friends, in the time of trouble, they got their own shit going on. But
Right.
when you're in the same kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Your fire is her fire, right?
Yep.
Now you hope to bring responsible people in so your shit don't become my shit. But hey girl, you know what I'm saying? If you need to go and do something, you can bring the kids over here, right?
Yeah.
Like if
It's
you
a
if
family
you
structure.
it's a structure.
Hmm.
Or it could be,
Could be. Right. Exactly. So that
right?
kind of alleviates the
So
jealousy.
so then the children have a male figure in their life, right? In a proper context, because mama ain't cursing about how he going over there and seeing Shamika and how he over here with two, you know what I'm saying? They're speaking in a positive light about this king that they're all sharing,
Hmm.
right? So the kids collectively grow up with this certain level of respect for authority, male authority, you know what I'm saying, the kingdom, sisterhood, you know what I'm saying? All these things. The kids
Mhm.
are always with someone being able to do something for them or with them in times of recital, game, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of advantageous aspects to it if everyone can be on the same page.
Right. If everybody can be on the same page, but everything that you just said, that's exactly why I wanted to have this conversation. That's why I wanted to call the title of the show Polygamous Society. Because exactly what you just said is already happening. They're just not acknowledging it. Like you said, okay, he may be talking to who he's talking to, but he's shushing the other one because he doesn't want the other one to know, but it's already going down. They just are not
Then
honest about it.
let let me say this too. Okay. So we get into relationships for resolve, right? To either not be alone, resources, whatever the case may be. Um, it doesn't change with polygamy. So who do you think is more motivated to really be the best that they could be? This guy who's at work and he's being beat up at work. He comes home, he got to hear all this from his woman, you know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. And that's all the interaction he gets. Now for her, see, women are emotional, so they can get their needs met from damn near anybody. You
Hmm.
understand? They can call their mama, they can call their daddy, they can call their best friend, they can call their sister, you know what I'm saying? They can call anybody on a bad day.
Hmm.
In a physical, right? So the only person that can relieve this issue is you. And what
Right.
happens when we're not on the same page,
Hmm.
right? What happens when you sound like every woman that I meet at the bar that don't know that I'm ear hustling when they on the phone with their girlfriend, complaining about how much of a woman she gotta be for this man.
Hmm.
I hear monogamous women complain all day. That's all I hear from monogamous women. They complain about having to be a woman to this man. Girl, all he want to do is fuck. That's all he want to do. Girl, I can't get no sleep. But when you was alone, you was like, please, God, send me a man. Please, God, send me a man. Then you get the man, and all he want to do, I can't get no sleep. I can't clean the house. I can't do nothing. All he want to do is just hump. Well, then what's the answer? What do you want? What do you
What do you
want?
want? What do you
What do
You
you
want?
take
want?
it. Where he at? No.
You understand?
Right. What do you want?
And what do you want?
That's what that
And then
is, really.
I hear them talk about it in such a demeaning way, like they on the phone with their girlfriends or they at the bar with their girls. Girl, and let's say the woman has 3 children. She like, girl, I got 4. Who's the 4th child? This man. The way that women look or feel about men is ridiculous. You
Mm.
understand?
Where,
It's
where do you think
absolute. It's
from?
absolutely demeaning,
What do you
huh?
think? What do you think that comes from? I
I
mean,
think
I
it
think
comes from 4 decades of you all not being raised with it.
perhaps,
We can
yeah.
start there.
I mean, I think it's a lack of education on, I mean, what a man, how we are supposed to add to his life. I think a lot of people want what we used to get, but they don't want to do what we used to have to do.
Yep. There
You
you
can't
go.
There it
have a
is.
provider and you're not willing to cater and do
Hmm.
all these things. This man is coming home. He needs to come home to peace. He's been out there all day long. The
Yep.
home needs to be peaceful. But then you want to scrutinize him for everything when he gets home. That's not peace. But you want him to go out and be a provider.
See?
Vice versa. You want her to, you know, clean up and do everything, but you also want her to go to work. But you want her to rub your feet and rub your back and have your dinner on the table waiting for you. But she just worked 12-hour shift too. So it's like we can't really have both things. It's
Can't
like
have
you
Listen, I tell people all the time, you can absolutely have your cake and eat it too. You just got to be your birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk about the prerequisites, one of the prerequisites, and I allow for there's an exception to every rule, right? There's an exception to every rule. But for the rule, I normally do not date women who go to work.
Mm.
I normally do not date women who go to a job. I normally date women who are self-employed. Why? Because more than 85% of these women who go to work got work husbands, and they have the most inappropriate relationships on the job with their coworkers, period. You know what
Where
I'm
did
saying?
you come from? I've never, even when I was married for the longest time,
I
I've never
said there's an
worked.
exception, but you
I
know
guess I
about them.
am. I'm like, where do you get a work
But you
husband?
know, but you know about it.
I
It
don't.
can
I've
happen.
never even
It can
heard this.
happen. It can
I've
happen.
I've never heard, but I'm
That's
also a water sign, very loyal, and like
so
I'm
that's
old
that's number
school.
one. Number two, a black woman who is career driven, um, it's almost like they don't know that they can have a career and a family at the same time. You know what I mean? You talk to these women about relationships, you be like, you in a relationship? No, I'm trying to, I'm focused. I'm focused. Who you dating? Like, I don't understand who you dating. What you mean? Like, so you can't have a man and be focused? Like, so the moment you get in a relationship, they just suck the life out of you. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are y'all dating? I don't get it. But I do. I do get it. I get it.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I mean, that's them being in their masculinity.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
because black
So
women are
I'm not
taught
gonna compete
a lot
against your
of
job.
stuff. Yeah.
Right. That's a new one right there. I never heard that before, but that's interesting stuff though. That's very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah. They will do whatever it takes to get up the ranks of this position. But we talking about building a kingdom and a family. You ain't got time for that. You don't understand what that means. You don't want to honor it. You know what I'm saying? And so I, in my time of sorting through what I like, I realized I don't like that. I didn't date women in college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't date women that, and it sounds crazy. I know. Why? Because I work a lot. And when I'm done, I don't want to compete with what you got going on. Now, I do deal with women who have their own businesses, but that means that you can control a lot of your time. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all your time, but I do need you to have some control over your time. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
Because I do a lot. So we both ain't gonna be in here, you know.
So
Gotcha.
you need her to be able to fit in those spaces and places that you need her to fit into, and not have like a corporation controlling or like being the master of her time.
But that's also where polygyny fits in. You
Yeah.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's got to be over there doing this and that, okay, that's fine. I still need myself balanced. You
Mm-mm.
understand? I still need me a lover. I still need me some attention when I need that, and I'm not for the streets. So I'm not going to be going out doing all of that to get that. You know what I'm
Wait, so
saying?
my question is though, well, what about a woman like when she needs him, but he's over there and she can't have him? What does she do?
Okay. Are you single?
Hmm.
You are, right? How long you been single?
For 3 years.
3 years. Okay. I'm sure there's been a night in the past 3 years where you wanted a man beside you.
Hmm.
My point to this is if it was just a few days, but you still got you a man that loves you and that's covering you, you can't wait them 2 days. You've been waiting 3 years. This is the conversation that I have with single women that ask me questions like this. You understand? Listen to
Wow.
the and listen to how you ask that question. What happens when she needs him and he's not there? Well, no one's there now.
I never
You
thought about it like
understand?
that.
Right.
Unless you got your little boy toy or something, but then that ain't really what you want no way. So
Right. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
does that go both
Yep.
ways? Like in that type of relationship? I mean,
Mhm.
Does that go both ways? Is it an expectation, like in that society, is it an expectation that what I can do, you can do, what you can do, I can do, as it relates to those type things?
Not
Mm.
at all. This is not polyamorous. I'm not polyamorous. I'm a polygamist. I'm a polygynist. So what that means is one man, multiple women. I only date or only court monogamous women. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Now, if we talking about swinging or you know what I'm saying, introducing a third party or something like that, then yeah, we could probably get down. We just got to talk about that and create those boundaries. But in reference to relationship building and kingdom building and family building, nah, nah.
You just said a mouthful. I never thought about it like that. And I think like any times that I've ever dated openly, for me, it's like, okay, let me go do what I got to do. You got something else you want to go do that. And I'm going to go do what I got to go do. Because I guess they've always said anyway, like women, like we don't require as much sex that a man may want. So we can wait longer. We can go do what we got to do as well and let them go do their
Not,
thing.
not for everybody. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, some
Yeah.
women have different sex drives too,
Right.
but I mean, in a monogamous relationship, you know how to wait because it's not like it's not an option for you to go be with nobody else. You just gonna wait for your man. I mean, it's not an
Right. You
option,
just wait. Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, as men get older, they is
Get
the
better.
You're right.
energy
You're
the
right.
energy kind of goes down a little bit. Like they might be able to go back to
Get
back, and like when
you
they get older, they might can't do that. So.
There's a few reasons. He ain't inspired no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's you know, it's funny. It's really funny. When I have when and this is and I've been a polygamist for more than 13 years. So when I speak on these things, I'm not necessarily speaking from the current circumstance. I'm speaking from the knowledge base of my entire existence of being a polygamist, right?
Mhm.
It's funny when I have one woman, the intimacy is at shallow waters. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's bare minimum, or it might spice up this weekend and tone down the rest of the month. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. The
Mhm.
moment another woman comes into play, everything becomes better. From the cooking to the sex to the conversation to everything. And you'd be like, it was specifically like that with my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Is your wife
Um, huh?
is your wife the Leo,
Yes.
and the Queen is the Gemini, and then
Hmm.
there's
Um, we call it. It's in September. What's that?
September is Leo, isn't
no,
Mm-mm.
September would be Virgo or a
Virgo.
Libra.
Okay.
Virgo. Virgo.
Yeah.
Virgo.
Oh, the nurse is a Virgo.
Mhm. Um, but it's true. Men be like, I don't know how you deal with more than one. One is enough for me. That's because that woman is purposefully giving you hell. She giving you all the hell because you are the punching bag. You know what I'm saying? Like these men feel beat up out here. All you gotta do is just go to any random bar and have. This is how cheating happens. This is how cheating happens. You understand? This woman is giving this man absolute hell at home. He's at the bar trying to get away. Every woman knows where to go when she wants something. Go to the bar. She
Mhm.
knows that this man is having a hellbound time at the house if he got the ring of death on. You
Mm.
understand?
That's
Now,
deep.
of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, every married guy you talk to is like this, bruh. You go to the barbershop, have a cup, bruh,
Yep. That's where the conversations go.
bruh.
Yep.
You understand?
That's
Because for the most part, For the most part, a monogamous woman is selfish. Everyone knows that she wants diamonds, pearls, vacations, you know what I'm saying? Bills paid, this, that, and the third. What does the man want?
Right.
And why can't he have it? Why do we have to subdue our maleness, our manhood to make you comfortable? That's the reason so much crime takes place with these men. Machines took the need for the muscle. You understand? Grocery stores took the need for the hunt. You understand? Then you come up in school, if you get into a fight, you're gonna get expelled. So where can I be a boy? Where can I be a man? And then you tell me that in order for me to prove to you that I love you so much that I want to spend the rest of my life with you, I gotta get rid of the other, but they willing to do what you not.
That's
But I'm
deep.
still in love with you. Why do I have to let them go in order to honor you?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if my conversation is more dawned than the last boyfriend you had. Especially if the level of commitment is dawned more than you've ever experienced. Especially if my spirituality is teaching you something. You know what I'm saying? Especially if my walk of life is accountable and honest. And then I'm showing you my plan for the future, for us to dominate the marketplace and humanity. What
Hmm.
else are we doing?
Wow.
Because most people, all they doing is going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home. And if that's the case, then shit don't matter.
Hmm.
That's what most people are doing,
Yeah.
which is why I say this isn't really for, whatever. But if this is the type of lifestyle that a man needs to be honorable and honest to the women that he's with, then this is what he should be living.
Gotcha. That's deep.
But these men don't want to be men. And I asked him, like, I'm at one of my homies' house the other night, and he goes to me, he says, Seven, man, I can't do like you, bruh. I'm like, what you talking about? Man, I can't be out here telling these hoes the truth. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? What do you mean you can't tell the truth? Man, my girl will leave me. So my answer to that was, so?
Hmm.
He said, what you mean so? I said, bro, so you mean to tell me that your woman leaving you is more important than you being who you are? And this is what's wrong. This is what's wrong.
That's what I was saying when we started the interview yesterday. I would rather a man tell the truth than to lie. It's like I'm forcing him to lie if he can't be honest with with his real feelings, how he really feels. I mean, like I said, we all would want to have like that. The women that do want to have that one man like to themselves, but if there is something else going on, be open and honest and say it.
Yeah, I definitely think that and that's one of the questions, that I'll ask, like, do you feel like, you'd be able, or you prefer a polygamous relationship? Because if
Mhm.
that's what they want, they really need to explore that and be honest,
Exactly. Don't
opposed
hold
to
them back from that.
pretending,
Right.
right? But a lot of them they don't think deep enough to understand what that looks like or what they need to be in that type of relationship, which was going to be the next question. Because it can become dangerous if you give somebody a very powerful weapon if they don't know how to use it.
Mhm.
So my question is, what does a man need in order to support, take care of, provide, lead, and protect more than one woman? What kind of
A
mindset do
plan.
You
You gotta
said,
have a plan. Yeah, you gotta have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's fair to expect a man to be able to straight out the gate afford that type of lifestyle. But I think that um, with with the right influence, it should come quite rapidly. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I say that is because the only purpose for money is women. You know what I mean? That's the goddamn honest truth. The only purpose for money is women. Men don't need money. We don't need money. We could live in a cave somewhere. You know what I'm saying, we could build, we could do these things, but bills, bags, and vacations. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, standard of life. These are feminine energies, right? And I'm not saying that it's wrong to want these things. I want everything.
But we both have both, and I want to make sure I'm clear on that. We both have masculine and feminine energy that creates us
Sure,
to be,
sure.
yeah,
But I'm talking about money. Money is a feminine energy. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You have to, in order to get money, whatever you're doing, you got to be good at it. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be consistent, and you have to be attentive, and you have to be, you know what I'm saying? And all of these things you have to have to keep a woman. And women desire certain things. And so what you'll realize is that the more women a man has, based upon a certain man, right, the more money he makes.
Mm. Wow. Y'all have answered all my questions
That's
on both ends, truly. It's deep. That's what I was saying before. It's like, that's why I want to do it again, do the show again, because this is not just a one-time topic. You could talk about this stuff forever. It's so many different parts to it. It's so many different ways of looking at it. It's so many different perspectives. Like everybody has a different perspective. I totally get what Rhonda's saying. I totally get what you're saying. I even know why I think the way I think. I mean, I get it. I respect everybody's position in it. I really get it. I do. It's
I
just, I
think
mean,
it, yeah, I think it takes a strong level of s- spiritual awareness and understanding of who you are and what you need in order to be in this type of lifestyle. For a
Mhm.
man, he has to be aware of himself because
Yeah.
he will get sidetracked in all these tiny situations. And also, if he doesn't know how to manage the women, that can be very stressful.
Yeah. 'Cause-
yeah. And majority of my queens, um, who I've ever been in a relationship with, has never really come out of their thrill for polygyny. You know what I'm saying? It's always really been the fact that they've been fond of me and I'm not monogamous. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that that's an important thing to be said. I've gone to the different groups and all of that to find women, and you know, um, my level of attraction to what was there, because oftentimes women who have the experience of polygyny have that experience because of some type of religion,
Mm.
whether it be Hebrew Israelite, whether it be Muslim, whether it be, something along those lines. Um, if a woman if an American woman has experience with polygyny, that's more than likely why it's been a religion based situation. And her mindset about it isn't necessarily the most um, positive. A lot of these men have used scripture to, manipulate, or have utilized their religion to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? So much so to one of my Muslim brothers. Um, he hit me one day and he says, "Seven, I really have a new profound respect for you." And I was like, I appreciate that, but why? He said, because what keeps your women with you? And I was like, uh, what do you mean? And he's like, well, because, if my wife and I are arguing or, whatever, I can bring her in and open the Quran, you know what I'm saying? And she knows her place.
Mm.
And I was just like, well, I would say purpose and alignment. I don't want nobody here who don't want to be here.
Right. It's not forced. And that makes it
Right.
even better. It's not forced.
It's the willingness to allow them to 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 go.
They have that freedom to do that. You're not using anything religion wise to keep them in check or keep them in place. They're there because of their own free will. And that's the best way. If that's the lifestyle that somebody wants to live or whatever, or adopt or whatever, they're there according to their own free will. Nobody's making them do anything, which I think is
Because, why do you want to fall in love with somebody that is there because they've been manipulated? What
right.
happens when you find out the truth?
Exactly.
Right.
When they come out of that trance, then it's a wrap. It's over.
And
Right.
then you set your own stuff up for a lot of grief,
Mm-hmm.
hardship,
Mm-hmm.
when it could have been avoided.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Well, like I said, you've answered all my questions. Rhonda, you have all your questions answered?
I think I have one more question that I was
Okay.
that I was writing down. Oh no, I asked it. I asked it. That was what a man needs in order to um be prepared. You said a plan. And I
Yeah.
think
Um, I, I would say a plan. I would say patience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have attention to detail, you know. Um,
Mhm.
your woman talks, and so one of the worst things that could possibly happen, and they'll the right woman they'll understand. But one of the worst things that could happen is kind of like mixing stories or mixing lives. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking to this one about something, but she didn't talk to you about that. The other one talked to you about that.
Somebody else.
But
Yep.
it's almost like having kids though. If you have multiple children, oftentimes you've probably called one by the other name. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it becomes family, it kind of becomes like that a little bit, but it's good to be able to and then time management, a man who does this who lives like this is probably an executive or is self-employed, which means that a lot of his time is already being exhausted by his work, or whatever he does professionally. And these women still want your time. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give them time. A lot of times, the first queen, this is something that's very hard for her, depending on how long you've been in that relationship without a second or a third, because it could seem like monogamy. She's grown used to it just being you all two. And so now that this third or the second woman has come along, she's having to let go of some of the time that, she had it all. She had all the time, you know what I'm saying? And so now she has to let go of some of that time. And that could be very difficult in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Until she realizes that this second queen isn't coming in to take her man. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So for the polygynous man, no, for the woman who's in a polygynous relationship, her fear is this woman is going to take him from me, right? The fear for a polygynous man is another monogamous man is going to take her from me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
So if the relationship isn't 1,000, if it's not really bond like that, then it's real easy to fall into both of those situations.
So how do you guys stop from having a favorite? Like just, I mean, me, I know we all have personalities that go better with our personality. Even if I can get along with this personality, I'm a mutual sign, so I can pretty much get along with anybody. But like I do still have my favorites. So how do you stop from like, this like some people just get you more, like she just really gets me. Like how do you stop from wanting to be in that energy all the time?
Um, I would say for me, and this kind of happened 2 years ago. So I had a fiance, had a wife, and I just started courting another woman. And we were like firecrackers. You know what I'm saying? Like it was explosive. Whenever this woman was around, it didn't matter who was watching, whatever she wanted to do, it was going down. You know what I'm saying? And my second queen, the one who was my fiance at the time, she didn't really like that. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, it was because she wasn't necessarily like that. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I had to speak to that with my wife and my fiance at the same time. And I had to explain to them, listen, like I love you for this reason. You know what I'm saying? I love you for this reason. I love her for this reason. You know what I mean? One of the things that I say to women when I get into a relationship with them, don't ever make me feel like what I'm doing is wrong because I put it out there from the gate. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, you know what I like. I tell you what I like. I tell you, you know what I'm saying? It's up to you to participate in certain aspects of those pleasures. And if you decide that that's not what you want to do, I don't love you any less for it. You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not going to turn down my energy with this woman because you feel some sort of way.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
You know
That's
what I
good.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, it would be her stuff.
Right,
You have to deal with it. Yeah.
right. Because I'm not doing anything to replace you. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything, but I'm not going to not laugh because she cracked a joke that I thought was funny because you're in the room and you don't normally crack jokes.
So and this is what that goes back to this mindset I tell people all the time. Like, okay, so you're 35, but you're still kind of five because that's a 5-year-old mindset to say you can't, if I don't like that, you can't like that either.
Mm.
Women are, people are possessive, not just
Yeah,
women. People are
Mm-mm-mm.
people are possessive, and that type of mindset just doesn't fit well in this type of lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Wow.
so you can
If
have
if I
favorites.
feel like if I feel like a woman is trying to take me from my queens, I'll let her know, yo, ma, you out of line. You know what I'm saying?
How do you know that?
You,
What does that look like?
well, because it'll be like this. You know, we actually look better together than
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or
Mm-hmm.
it'll be like you know, it'll be like, well, you know, I want more for my life than she do, or you know what I'm saying, a jab here or there, you know what I mean? And I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, look, that's out of line. You know what I mean? That's my queen too. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Now, if it's something, you know, like a critique, like something constructive, that's different. You know what I mean? We all bear the line to speak the truth. But if it's a tear down, now that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see what you just said right there, that has always been my thoughts on why a lot of men they come back. I think a lot of men they feel like they're being loyal when they keep everybody versus just choosing one. I mean, you got the monogamous, such as myself, like, okay, he should just be all about me. But then I do think about like, dang, well, he left her as well. So I think that's what keeps the men that do come back. in their minds, they're being loyal to everybody. They're not cutting anybody off. That's just I've been calculating it in my mind. So I get it. I get it. It's almost like, well, how I see it is the way I think about it. I can't be mad because I always say, however he treats her is how he's going to treat you. So how can another woman get excited and happy like, oh, I made her leave him, I took her man. Okay, if he goes back, then you didn't take anything. And
They have a lack of interest.
how would you feel if he did it to you? However he treats her is how he's going to treat you. So you cannot be excited about, I took her man. How? He gonna treat you if he dogged her out, trust and believe he gonna treat your ass the same way. If he
He
treats
left
her
her for
good, he gonna treat
right.
you good too. You
Right.
gotta women gotta think about that. They don't think about that. They thinking, oh, I got him. She don't have him. However he treated that woman that he left to be with you, trust you're gonna get that same karma. He's gonna treat you the same way. So you've answered a lot of my questions. A lot. Because I do think about that. I really do.
Yeah, I don't deal with women who are already dating. You know what I'm saying? If you got a man already, I don't even entertain the idea. You know what I mean?
That's
Well,
deep.
I mean, I think a lot of in Atlanta, I think a lot of people are just they have space holders.
Yep.
I mean, and you know, of course, and I can understand. I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. However, I don't deal with women who are already in a entanglement. You know what I'm saying?
Entanglement, I think when you have a placeholder, you're actually I think it creates stagnation because you can't really learn about yourself as to why you feel like you need to have this placeholder. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the
You know, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, especially if you're a single woman. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got your needs as well. This dude's familiar. You know what I'm saying? So hey, he's the cleanup man. However, you know what I'm saying? You know, I get that. But, you know, I'm talking, you know, if you claiming this man, if you going out with somebody already, if you're in a relationship, you know what I mean? I
oh
can't deal
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But why would she
Yeah.
be coming over there to you if she's in a relationship?
You know, man, 5 minutes on the phone, 5 minute conversation with me, you be surprised.
Look at us. We back over here talking again. So it might be something to what he's saying. We over here.
So that means that she wasn't trying to find anything profound anyway. She was just entertaining somebody just because, even if she's in a relationship, like this person isn't meeting
Could
your
be, or could be, but a lot of people are in relationships because they ain't left yet. Not just because, you know,
needs.
that shit was over a long time ago. It just ain't left yet. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean?
Mm-mm.
I've myself have been guilty of that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Why do you think that is? Why do they hold on? Why they ain't left yet?
Um, for me, because I can, you know, one, I'll tell you one before I say for me. Sex. That's for one. Most of these relationships are only to validate the sex you're having. You know what I'm saying?
One.
That's really it. That's really it. That takes the whole cake, which is why when I talk about polygamy to a woman, the first thing she thinks about is sex. That she can't even get past the sex to even talk about lifestyle or the intelligence behind it or why I practice it. It's oh, so you just want to have all the cookies. Well, and then the second question, then it goes, well, what if I want more than one? And I say, well, how many you got now? I don't. That's not the point. I'm single right now. So then, why are you asking me? Would it be okay for you to have more than one? Do you understand how stupid you sound to me?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, um, for me, I take the I do's very, very seriously. You know, when you say I do, when you've promised forever to someone, um, as a guy, I feel unless this woman is abusing you or unless she's cheated on you, there's really no reason to leave your woman. Now, consider the source. I'm a polygamist. You understand? So, as a polygamous man, there's really no reason. I don't care how much we don't get along. I made a forever promise to you. And as a celestial, I have to live that out. I have to see that through. You understand? However, the moment you start breaking covenants, now that agreement has been broken. You understand? When you start going against everything that this covenant was created upon, then I now have no more responsibility to you.
Mm.
And it took me a long time to learn that part.
Mm. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for making yourself available to us again to, like I said,
Absolutely.
to go even further. Like I said, I know that this is a conversation where there's so many places that you can go with it. I know everybody has different takes on stuff. They feel a certain way, but I've always been one to where I've always stayed in the middle. I hear both sides. I've been told I'm a glass half full. It's like when something's supposed to be the worst, I'll be that person standing there and still, no matter what happens, I'm there for it all. So I'm there for whatever the opinions are, the differences are. Hey, we can sort that out and put it right here. So I'm open. I'm open to more conversations in the future. If anybody wants to, come back to discuss something that they want to talk about, I'm here for all of that. So
Go to was brought to you by Whipple Tompkins Mobile Notary Service, where notary service is fast and reliable. Available 24/7. You better get it.
hello, I am the host and founder of Urban Beats Radio 2, Rashawn Ellis, and this time we are back with the Sean Ellis Trendy Boutique. It is our new store. We're selling Urban Beats Radio 2 t-shirts, Sean Ellis Music Entertainment t-shirts, as well as new accessories from Paparazzi Accessories. So when you get a chance, check us out. Go out there and, look around and see if we have anything that you like. Thank you so much for your love and support of Urban Beats Radio 2. We will see you on the next show.